And we live.
And
Let
we
me get a
laugh.
little. Let me get a little. You dig? Turn this down a little. Mm, 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 mm. Make sure we good. Cool, cool, cool. Was gonna stream it to Instagram as well, but I'm not gonna do that. So we're gonna give it a few. Let some people time to climb on in, so we can have us a good show tonight. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna have a conversation about relationships.
Relations in the ship.
Yeah,
Relation.
relationships in trucking, broker relationships, dispatch relationships, relationships between the dispatcher and the trucker, the owner operator, relationships between a broker and owner operator, relationships between husband and wife, relationships between the driver, truck driver, and the kids, right?
Yep.
Used to be more so about the man and the kids, but now you got a lot of women truck drivers out there. So,
Yeah.
give everybody a little time to tap on in, jump on in, jump on in, jump on in. But yeah, we're going to get into it tonight. Let me pull a couple things up on my screen.
Hmm.
Got a got a good guest with me tonight,
Thank you.
Miss Tamaris with
Hey,
UTL Dispatching. Go
yes.
on ahead. Let me cut this music off. Go on ahead and introduce yourself
Oh,
to the
well,
audience.
I don't mind if I
Yeah,
do, sir.
yeah.
Thank
Tell them
you.
who you are.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Tamaris, and I own UTL Dispatching. We not only dispatch for open deck, box trucks, and reefer, but I'm an educator. So much like Mr. Marco, we are passionate about introducing individuals into this space of transportation by way of dispatching. And my personal opinion is dispatching should be the first phase that anyone that's new to the industry or considering going into the industry, you should start there. um, it's going to give you the entry level skills needed to understand this world called trucking, because it's a whole different language. But yeah, that's pretty much it, Mr. Marco.
Got you, got you. So, tell them how we met.
Um, we met because I was transitioning from entry level dispatching, which Mr. Marco will go over later, about the different levels of dispatching there is. I know others may mark it differently, that dispatching is as simple as getting a load board and just matching loads, but that isn't true. There are different levels. So, after having owning my own trucking company and dispatching it for my own company, then transitioning into entry level dispatching, I wanted to learn more about heavy haul. And so going through YouTube and searching, I could not find anyone that really spoke to how do you get into that space of dispatching, um, heavy equipment. And so I found Mr. Marco, watched him off and on for about a year or so. And then finally, I invested, keyword, invested in myself,
Yeah, you did.
and took his course. And then, I just felt like, okay, I want to learn more. I want to get more hands on experience. And what other, the best way to do that is servitude. So instead of me coming with my hand out, I came out with my both my hands out saying,
Mhm.
put me to work. How can I help? What can I do? How can I make your school community uh, bring more value to it instead of asking, hey, can you mentor me or can I do a consultation? Um, let me come on in and sweep the floors and wash the
Mhm.
windows and ear hustle and hear how you do what you do. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how it started with me saying, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to level up. Let me research and find out who's out here that's really giving. And he gave a lot of free information. That's what really drew me to him. A lot of really good free information. So yeah, that's how I started.
Yeah. So, which is good, man. We got a good community over there on school. For those of you that's not in the community, y'all are missing out. I actually got to
Yep.
make a little edit on it right now. Um, yeah, man, y'all missing out. Y'all really should come on in the community. We have fun. We meet at least once a week. We we answer Miss Tamara. She helps out a lot because, like she said previously, she has her own coaching side of things as well. So she helps out in the community a lot. And we have a lot of fun. We talk about a lot of things. We learn a lot of things. We hold each other accountable. We challenge each other. Um, and we don't just teach dispatching, we actually learn how to run a trucking business, a logistic business, not just the dispatching side of things. So, and once again, we make, everybody's making relationships. We made a relationship. Now we on a YouTube channel together, right? And
Right.
then, we have some other friends in the group. They might pop up in the comments today, and I dare them to because I'm gonna drop them the link and tell them, hey, come on in. Don't just jump in the comments. Come on, actually come on in, right? So yeah, that's 1 second. That's actually what is it? What is it? What is it? Yeah, that's actually you know, it's a cool group, man. This is a good group. Right now the price is kind of on the cheaper side, but it is what it is. It's gonna be going up pretty soon for sure.
Yeah.
We're gonna be adding a lot more value or whatever. But that's not what we're here to talk about tonight. Just wanted to give you a little backstory about how we connected together and how she wound up being a guest on the show. So tonight we're gonna be talking about relationships in the trucking game, right? We're gonna tap into all different types of relationships, right? Like like relationships as in broker dispatcher relationship, dispatcher trucker relationship, a driver relationship, driver owner relationship, right? Dispatcher owner relationship, wife husband, right? Or husband would be the driver or the owner with the wife. Like, let's tap in, let's have a little fun. Don't be so uptight. Let's talk, let's get real and personal about it, and actually, get into it. I don't know, how do I do this? Can I click this? All right, that's that. Yep, we do. We have a lot of fun in the community, you know. Um
Hey,
for
cat.
sure. For sure. That's one of our sisters in the community right there.
Yeah.
You better make those calls. You better make
25.
those calls. But
25.
um, but yeah, man. So you know, relationships keeps the business going.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of picked that topic because a lot of a lot of owner operators, a lot of drivers, fleet owners, whatever might have it, they don't really understand how important relationships is, right? In this business. And the relationships that you build around you
Mhm.
in this business is very important.
Yeah.
All the way from your relationships that's at home to the relationships that's you know, uh like actually on the business, right?
Yeah.
Or in the business with you, right?
Right.
Which, if you're building a business, in my opinion, it should be a family business. So the
Yeah.
relationships at home should be inside of the business with you as well. But
Right.
I was just talking to I'm not gonna name the actual brokerage, but it's a big time brokerage. If I say the name of the brokerage, mostly everybody would know exactly, they would know the brokerage, right? But
Hmm.
basically, they let me put this thing here. They they have some local runs. We're running some local runs for them, right? It's not really the runs that I would like to run, but the drivers want to run those runs. So it is what it is, right? I'm here to serve them, right?
Hmm.
um, and I get paid in return. So the owner operators, they he called me. He's like, "Hey man, I got these runs. It's coming off the port, blah blah blah," and he told me the price, and I was like the rate, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Definitely not something that I would ever put my hands on and touch, but it's something that he wanted to do. So cool. So he's running the loads, right? And then like word gets around, couple other guys want to run the loads as well in the company, and then now we got a couple owner operators running the same loads downtown in New Orleans, local runs. So they're running the loads, and once again, they're just not paying good money.
Yeah.
And he called me because they didn't want to run the loads anymore. So when he called me, he was like, "Hey man, y'all ducking out on us, y'all not dedicated, blah blah blah." I'm like, "No, the loads are not paying enough. They
Right.
don't want to run the loads anymore. They're tired of not like making the money that they should be making. They don't
Hmm.
want to run the loads anymore, right?" So
Yeah.
he's like, man, where's your dedication? Where's this? Where's that? He was just acting crazy. And this is a broker. I mean, he was just acting crazy. He's talking crazy to me. I'm on my way to drop, my son off at school, and like I'm going back and forth with him. Like, look, dude, I'm not about to go back and forth with you about this. They don't want to run the loads, but we had 3 trucks on it, right? And they're all owner operators. They do what they want, but at the same time, um, you know, so they didn't want to run it. So they didn't want to run it, and I'm like arguing with this dude, and I had to like think about it, like, why am I arguing with you? And then
Right.
I'm like in front of my son, you know. He kind of looking at me like, damn man, my daddy tripping, and I'm telling him, I'm like, look, bro, they don't want to run the loads. Like, just chill. They don't want to run the loads. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And he's like, man, you left us stuck out, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, we didn't leave you stuck out. Um, we have to just like, they have to like show up every day.
Hmm.
And when they show up, it's like, within an hour, they can say, hey, we're not, no work today. It's not
Right.
like we get the rate cons, it's everything's good, we're locked in, and we show up and we start working. It's not like that.
Hmm.
It's, you show up, they supposed to have work. If they have work, then everything's all good. And then we actually run the loads and then we get the rate cons throughout the day. It's like little short runs, like 5, 10 mile runs, right?
Right.
And he was so upset. He got his boss to call me. Now we on this conference call. Once again, it's a big brokerage. Y'all would know the brokerage if I dropped the name, right? But I'm not gonna do that. And through the conversation, I said, "Hey, man, listen. You're over talking me. You're talking crazy to me. you need to not do this, right? We're
Right.
not gonna let these little loads um mess up the relationship between us, right? So he kind of tried to threaten me a little and was like, "Oh, and these loads, when I get the next boat or shipping, um, and it's we're gonna pay more and it's gonna be better, we're not gonna give you the loads." By this time, I'm like 30 minutes in the drive to my son's school, and I'm aggravated. I said, "I'll tell you what, you do that. I do a nice good bit of work with the company. I was about to drop the name, but a nice bit of work with the company that's oversized work. If you do that, we won't touch your oversized work, right?" He was like, "Oh man, blah, blah, blah." More of my story is this. He came back 2 days later. We didn't run the loads, right? 2 days later, he came right back and was begging,
Mm-hmm.
texting, calling, begging, "Man, can y'all please help us out? Can y'all please help us out?" He was so focused on that in the moment at that time, that day, to where he didn't think about the long-term relationship
Right.
that we could have created. You know what I mean? You ever went through like, you've been dispatching, right? You ever went through something like that?
Oh, for
Also?
sure, for sure. And what I've learned is a lot of people in this industry, because it is not an industry where you have to get certified or you have to have higher learning. Um, a lot of these people lack emotional intelligence.
Mhm. They
And
will blow on you, huh? Them
yeah, oh,
doggone brokers, man, they get crazy.
the
I'm
crazy
blowing their
thing
asses
is
right back.
like
Excuse my
they
language.
forget that the whole purpose of you being in your it means nothing if you have all of these manufacturers and shippers if you don't have relationships with carriers or dispatchers, right? Like you can't talk, you can have all this work and make your name garbage because you can't get the work done because you didn't talk out the side of your neck to everyone. And what people need to understand about this industry, especially as a minority,
Mhm.
it don't take much for your name to get blown around, tossed around. These Facebook groups are brutal. They will
Yeah.
share your driver's license, your truck color. They will share everything. Same thing with brokers. They will blast your social media pages, the specific agent they were talking to. So maintaining professional relationships and operating with emotional intelligence and thinking about the long haul, no pun intended, but thinking about the long haul, how important it is to, in that moment, literally take a pause, take a breath, and understand that, this is a very stressful industry.
Mhm.
There's a lot of pressure on both ends. And it's better for you to say, you know what, let me go ahead and give you a call back in that moment, opposed to trying to stand your grounds and go back and forth because they're not hearing you at that point. They're in their emotion, they're in their feelings. Um, so trying to go back and forth with them is not even worth it. And from my personal experience is I run a business. This is not a hustle. And
Yeah.
so as a business owner, there are certain things you implement and you put into place in the forefront before there's any exchange of monies. And what I mean by that is I come from a background of administration and contracts. So I'm very big about making sure that I have a very clear, I want you to understand what you're getting into when I bring you on as a client. So that's all I do. I'm not going back and forth with you. You signed a contract. What did the contract say? What?
Man, so I'm used to dealing with all open deck. Now, for years, I've done reefer, dry van,
Yeah,
stuff like that, right? I've never ever tapped into the box trucks or the sprinter, right?
yeah.
Like never, right? How are these are they like the same brokers? Are they different brokers? How are they for the box trucks and like the sprinter vans and stuff?
It can well, because box trucks can do LTL and final mile. It is very possible that you can have a broker that will work with a box trucks and sprinter vans, depending on who the shipper is they're working with or the manufacturer that they're working with. So it is
Mhm.
very possible that the same person that may do reefer and dry van would also work with box trucks and LTL. I'm not really. I've worked with a few box trucks and sprinter vans, but that isn't my
Yeah.
preference.
What's your
um,
what's your we talking about relationships now. What's
yeah.
your preference? What's your
Well,
preference? We talked about
now
this
since I've
before.
gone through, I've gotten the training from you. My preference is open day, and eventually just focusing specifically on specialty equipment.
Yeah.
So
Why?
that's what you and I are working on now, but that's my preference, for the simple fact, like I shared with you before, in my personal opinions in my personal opinion, there's just a different level of professionalism that comes with individuals that work in that specialty space. So open deck space. That's my personal
Mhm.
experience. They tend to be more, and in my personal opinion, and again, after having our training and our sessions, they got a lot more to lose. So they're going to be a little more conscious and cautious as to what they will and will not accept, because, not to say that other drivers don't run the risk of potentially being incarcerated, but when you're working with open deck and you have these huge pieces of equipment, or steel pipes, or cement bins, or whatever you call them, cement
Mhm.
holes, or whatever those things are for the drainage, um,
Yeah.
there's a lot more riding on that load opposed to, a load of frozen chicken. So they're they're
Yeah.
they're a little more
Now,
like,
if you don't turn that reefer on and that chicken go to waste, that's a nice claim.
it
That is
is.
a nice
It
claim.
is.
I used to do reefers and stuff. I made some. Listen, I made I no bragging, right? Just keeping it real. I don't, dudes or I'm gonna say people, right?
Yeah.
We gotta watch what we say now, right? When it comes to
Right.
men and women now, right? They got all
Right.
of these new laws,
Right.
and all
Right.
this
Right.
stuff or whatever. I don't
Right.
want the alphabet people coming for me, but
No.
anyway,
No.
I ain't
No.
gonna go down that rabbit hole. I'm gonna leave that alone. But
Yeah.
anyway, so people, they're like, oh, the trucking industry, this that, no money, there's no money. I made money in every
Hmm.
niche that I've got into. I've made money in tankers.
Hmm.
I've made money in reefer. Before I was doing hazmat reefer, I made money in that. I made money in hazmat reefer. I made money in a dry van, right? And that was before the pandemic,
Yeah.
right? I made
Yeah.
money in flatbed. I made money in heavy
Can I
hauling.
interject right there really quick? I
Mhm.
just that you really hit a sore spot for me, which is, I hate with a deep passion when people say there's no
Uh-oh.
money in trucking. There's no money in trucking because you don't know how to
Mm,
find the
mm.
money. Say that. Say you don't know
They
how
they
to
need to come
find the
to the
money.
school group, man. They need to join the group. They just need to come join the school group, and
That's
then
what you need to do.
they can learn how to make some money, right?
Right.
You got to come
Right.
join the school group, man.
Right.
Join the
So
school
there,
group, and then you good.
until they have mastered the art of teleportation, there will always
Yeah,
be a need for transportation experts, whether you're a dispatcher, whether you're a broker, whether you're an owner operator, whether you're whatever, there's always going to be money in this industry, and there's always going to be a need. So I just want to dispel that myth that, there's no money. No, you don't know how to find the money. Say you're not sure what you don't know how to run a business, because as a business person, there's no such thing as saying there's no money in this business. you don't know how to find it, or you don't know how to pivot at a specific time, or you don't know, you don't say it ain't no money. It's plenty money. It's,
Yeah.
it's plenty millionaires that just dispatch.
Listen,
So,
I just hooked up, not like just now, but like a couple months ago. I
hmm
hooked up a guy, a client that he went to get a loan, right?
hmm hmm
Hooked him up with an accountant, right?
hmm
Same accountant that's on here.
hmm
Um I know the numbers. I'm gonna just say that, right?
right.
And you know, about a million a month, you know, right? So there's money, right? I remember Rich Dad Poor Dad, uh, going right back to relationships. I remember Rich Dad Poor Dad was saying one day he was interviewing or getting interviewed or whatever. He
hmm
was like, listen, you want to make some money because he's always talking about cash flow, right?
right. Right.
Excuse me. He has a game called the cash flow quadrant, something like that,
hmm
something like that. I have it downstairs, but
hmm
it's a board game. But basically, he teaches that, hey, look, you want to make money, you got to find the flow of cash and put yourself right in the middle.
That's
So
right.
when it flows, it goes through you, right?
That's right. That's right. That's what
So
I meant when I was saying pivot. You
yeah.
can't just say, "Oh, I just drive reefer." Well, you might want to go get a flatbed, or know how to go lease a flatbed when an opportunity comes your way. I used to take a lot of when I had my trucking company, I had dry van, but
Mhm.
I would do tractor trailer only, jobs in between. If it was no such thing as that, like, there's no money. I'm just letting my tractor and my
Mhm.
trailer just sit up. Like, one of them gonna be working, whether I'm leasing
Yeah.
out the trailer while the tractor sit, or the tractor is gonna be run. They both got to be making some money. So
You was doing
yeah,
it over the road or local, or what you was doing with that?
we were doing both. We were doing the ports out of
Mhm.
LA. We was doing the ports. And then we was
Nah,
also
that's
doing
crazy. Yeah.
OTR. The ports, you
LA
really got to be
period.
patient. You really got to be patient.
LA
It's some good
period.
money. Yeah,
That's man.
yeah, yeah. But we were doing the ports, we were doing OTR, and we eventually I had got a real good gig with Amazon. I just had a driver that just didn't want to work. He just, would do some retarded stuff like uh the last thing he did before I fired him was he told me it was his daughter's birthday or something for the weekend. And I'm like, cool. He told me a week in advance. I'm like, okay, so are you still gonna be able to work? Because we got this contract. And he's like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. I'm gonna do my run, and because I made sure that I mapped him home. Keyword mapped.
Mhm.
I didn't just go on the load board and just say take this load. No, I made sure that he went to one place, and from that place to here, that place to here, because he needed to be home by a certain date. So I mapped his route, so he can be
Mhm.
home, and he just had one last load to do, and he would have been done. He could have still made. Rather than him do that, he decides he made a pimp decision. Okay,
Mhm.
that he was gonna park the truck and just not answer his phone for the rest of the day. So we got this load that's waiting for us to
Back to
come
them
pick him up.
relationships again. Let that daughter. He said he had something to do with his daughter or something, huh?
Didn't answer his phone the entire weekend, and then had the unmitigated gall to call me on Monday. Tell me I'm ready. Ready for what? The unemployment line? Because that's what you're ready for. I'm ready for what? Not to work for me. He,
Oh
he
man.
was ready for what? So
Yeah.
just screw my entire business, my name, everything, because you wanted to go to your daughter's birthday party.
Yeah.
Okay.
that you put in work to get him there, right? That you
Anybody
put
that
in
know
work
that
to
you
get
work
him
with
there.
Amazon, in order for you to get a dedicated lane, you have to keep a
You
A
got to
or
prove yourself. Yeah.
right. You have to keep a B plus or above status for a certain amount of time, and we have managed to get to an A. And you just gonna say F these people and me, because it's my business. But luckily my son is a driver, so he was fuming, because he was off.
Yeah.
Because I would look, I was pimping my truck, like one be on, one be off. That truck
Yeah.
kept moving.
So
Like,
you was slip seating it.
listen, listen,
Yeah.
at all times I would have two or three drivers. At all times, two or three drivers, because when one to be off for, they reset or however long they need to be off, the other one was running. That truck kept running. But
Yeah.
luckily my son, he could finish that last run, but we got dinged for that because we were late, because he went parked the truck, which was like an hour away from where my son was. So now my son got to get up, get dressed, then drive an hour to go get the truck, and then drive an hour to go pick up the load. So we were like majorly late, right? Um, but anyhow, I know that was a whole tangent, but I was using it as an example of
Yeah.
how relationships is so important, because that man went and had a great old time, and then he was expecting to go to work on Monday because I paid my drivers weekly. So he was ready to go to work on Monday because he got to make up for all that money he tricked off on Saturday,
Right.
on a birthday party. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
I listen. So I've had, and this is one of the reasons why I kind of transitioned out of the owner, like owning trucks
Yeah.
for myself position. One of the reasons, not the total reasons, but one of the reasons was is because having dry. Okay, I believe this is my opinion. I believe the driver model is a little is going dead.
Mm,
Um, and I kind of appreciate it. And let me explain what I mean.
mm,
It was always a conflict for me to have drivers. Let me tell you why.
mm,
I don't like a boss. I don't
mm,
want a boss, right? Never did. Like that's why I bought my first truck at 19.
mm,
And excuse me. And so for me to have to be a boss over a driver,
yeah.
it just was it never clicked for me. And I've been doing this, I've been having drivers since I was like, I don't know, 22 years old or 23 years, I think 22, 23 years old, right? And
Mm,
I'll be 38 this year in a couple months.
mm, mm,
So I've been having drivers for a minute, and it never clicked for me. I've did it,
yeah.
because of money and helping them out, but I always like leaned into allowing them to do way too much
Yeah.
than they should have done, giving them way more than what I should have given them, just doing these
Yep.
things, right? Because my driver mindset would kick in, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh man, you got to get home to your kids. I know,
Yeah.
right? And I'm gonna talk a little bit about that, but I know how I feel to have to get a text saying, "Oh, you're not gonna be here this weekend. This, that." I'm talking about, a woman to go as far as to tell you you're never here or whatever. It's like, what? You tripping? I'm not never there. I just sent you this money, or I just came and done this. Like, what do you expect me to do? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
this is the career path that I chose. Like what's the problem, right?
Yeah.
But so I understand and I get that, right? So by me understanding and I get that, I would be like, hey man, you got to get home. Let's get you home, right?
Yeah.
Um, man, let's make sure you make money. Let's make sure you get home. Let's make sure you get home to your wife, to your woman. You got to come get you a little bit so you can go back out, get back motivated. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I would always understand these things, right? But also the negative side of it was I didn't realize they wasn't me or like the drivers that I grew up with, right? Like I
Yeah.
grew up with OGs, right?
Yeah.
If I get some of those, the dudes that I grew up with driving trucks, we was gangsters driving
Right.
trucks.
Right.
We wasn't playing. Like we was going out getting money. Woman wasn't stopping us.
Yeah.
No truck because of listen, the stuff that stopped drivers from making money today, the AC and the woman at home and the this, the what type of truck? What? Look, man, go make your money. Like go make your money, man. But anyway,
Hey,
so
you know my thoughts about that, right?
which part?
About how these men, are switching the
What?
roles and not okay. I'ma say it, then, Marco. I'ma
Because I don't
say it,
understand what you're saying, man. I don't know. You're mumbling. I don't know what you're saying. What you saying?
Marco. Don't do that.
Huh?
Let's be nice. Be nice,
What you
Marco.
saying?
Be nice.
And your
What
thing
I'm
keeps
saying.
getting stuck
What
over
am
there.
I?
You might have to go out and come back in. I don't know. But go ahead.
I'm stuck.
You kind of flitching a little bit, glitching a little bit. But go ahead, just try it out.
Okay. So, my thoughts, and it's relating to the relationship of, the man of the house and being able to effectively communicate the plan and the goal. And I think that's what the issue derives from when there is static between their partner, and the driver. And I hope that you and I along the way can help shine light on what really transpires when you're on that road. Like, it's a lot of mental stress that goes into having to put that hat on as a driver on the road. But in this new day and era where communication is through a text, where you
Mm-hmm.
can't really understand what is the meaning behind what's being said, and a lot of people are in their feelings about a misinterpretation of what was sent. So I believe, in relations to what you're saying, like the women are getting frustrated, like you're never here, and blah 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 blah. But the driver, to be a driver, you have to literally shut like a human side off from you to a certain extent. Like, you're not human for a while, and then the woman doesn't understand that. We're so emotional, we want to break down, and we got to dissect what you're saying, and we got to figure out if you're lying. And instead of, there has to be a medium somewhere. Like, this man literally is going into a twilight zone while he's on the road, but he doesn't know how to effectively communicate that to his significant other, to the point where she can know, let me hold down a fort until you get back. Like, I don't know where this idea of that these truck drivers are just, well, I do know, back in the days, I do know. But there has to be a firm bond before leaving, and that's what I mean. Like, the man has to be the man of his home, and that means that, listen, you setting boundaries. When I'm on this road, I'm working, and evidence of that is when I'm sending his money home, and your
Yeah. What
responsibility
about
should
okay?
be.
So hold up. So time out. All right. So look, cause see, when you're on an operator, or you're on an operator, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes money ain't going home. You might be out there hurting,
But
right?
if
Like
if
like
you and
like
I are in a
you didn't,
relationship, if you and I are in a relationship, and we're managing a household together, we're
Mhm.
managing a household together. You see what's going
That's
on
the
with my
fur
money.
baby back there, huh?
Don't
That's
do
that
that. Don't
fur
do that. Get
baby.
off Frankie. Get
Uh-huh.
off
The
Frankie. Get
fur
off of him.
baby. Y'all got them fur
It's too
babies.
soon for the world to know about him, but y'all know about him later on.
Good.
But he doing his job. He doing his job. Somebody at the door ain't supposed to be there. But
You
anyway,
know,
uh
you know what Kevin Samuels say about them dogs and them cats and all that. But go ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
Marco. Where Cat? Where Cat at? Cat, are you still here? Cause I need your backup. But anyhow, what I was saying, and I hope no one takes this. I don't mean any harm. I'm just speaking about how it's important to have effective communication as a business. Your relationship should be ran as a business, not as a hobby. And in
Mhm.
business, you have goals, and that should be effectively communicated. Listen, I'm doing this because this is how much we need in order for us to get to that point. Not, it shouldn't be that I'm just out on this road. You should be happy I'm taking care of the house. No, nobody want to be talked to like that or treated like that. But if you're
Mhm.
saying, look, I'm gonna be out here on this road for 3 weeks, give me 4 months with this hustle, and in the fifth month, we're gonna take us a trip. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sometimes you got to. Sometimes I'm just keeping it real. I gotta listen. Sometimes you gotta tell her that. Look, shut up. My bad. Damn, my bad. I didn't see. I didn't. Man. Oh,
well,
I'm
listen,
just
but
listen.
listen, but
Sometimes you
listen,
got to
if
just
you
be like, look,
now now I'll
chill.
back you up on that,
I'm
Marco.
I'm
If you
doing.
have had that, if you have
I'm
had
out
that
here. I'm
conversation,
putting in work. I'm making this money. I'm tired. I'm about to drive off in the ditch. I just dealt with this crazy broker. I'm
yeah,
dealing with everybody trying to run me off the road. DOT didn't pull me over. I done got a blowout. I hear something under the hood, knowing we only got $1,000 in the account, right?
right.
I'm trying to keep all of this rolling and keep on going. And I'm factoring loads. So I'm trying to drop a load today for 1,500 so I can send you 1,000 and I keep 500 or I send you everything. You know you at home eating good and in the AC and living good. And I'm out here eating canned goods,
But
playing with me. So guess
I
what? After that, guess what I'm gonna say? Guess what I'm gonna say?
what
Shut up. Don't tell me nothing. Bring
now?
the children to school,
Now
cook,
listen.
make it a
Now
house,
listen.
and leave me alone. I'm
Now
out
now
here eating
listen.
noodles. You
Just
dig?
like how just like
Green
how you
beans.
feel that way, she
Yeah,
feeling the same way. You out on the road by
man.
yourself, you can sleep
Well,
and
look,
go and do. She
we
feeling
can
the same way,
swap.
Marco.
We can swap. Let's swap and see if she still feel the same way.
She probably would for the first 2 weeks. She probably would because she ain't got to
Ne-
deal with them
We
kids.
ain't
But
swapping. And look, check this out.
what they saying
Minute.
in the comments? What they saying in the comments, Marco?
They ain't saying nothing. They don't want to touch this. They don't want to touch this. These are topics that don't nobody want to touch. You
I
know,
saw Catherine say something. Kathy,
said a little
Kathy, where you
something.
at, girl?
They ain't, But listen, I get it. I understand. I get it. But at the same time, everybody got their role to play. You understand what I'm
But you're
saying?
you're assuming that that's a conversation that has been. We can't assume, and that's why we're having this conversation because
All right.
effective communication will build a strong relationship. If you're feeling that and not saying that, and she's thinking that and not saying that, and the only time y'all communicate about what's going on is when you didn't got pissed off, then yeah, that's when it goes to the left. But and that's why
I'm
you
gonna
have to
raise
make
my
sure
desk
that
up by you. Go ahead. I'm listening.
what you say, Marco.
I'm listening. I'm raising my desk up. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Uh-oh, Marco trying to stand up on me. Why you
No,
trying to
no, no,
stand
no,
up
no, no,
on
no,
me?
no, 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 no. I need to get my. Go ahead. I'm listening to you. Go ahead. I'm getting
But
comfortable. We gonna be here
but
a while. Go ahead.
but there has to be a real, and first of all, it comes from a knowledge base, right? You
Mm-hmm.
can't be someone that jumped out there, you got your CDL and you hit the road. Like, you have to understand what you get ready to sign yourself up and your family up for. And I think that's a lack of knowledge, because when you go to these schools, they don't tell you about what you get ready to endure while you're out there on the road. You gonna work some crazy hours, not make no real money, be away from your family. They don't tell you that. But I think when this is not, if you have a family and you're getting into trucking, this is a family discussion. Like, you really got to prepare everyone and let them know. And if they don't, then perhaps this ain't the road you need to go down. If you're married, But if you just boyfriend, girlfriend, and they can't understand it, then perhaps that ain't the one supposed to be on your team. Um,
See, you about to open up a whole nother thing with the
well, open
boyfriend
it up
girlfriend
then. Open
because the
it up
boyfriend
then.
girl. Listen, the boyfriend girlfriend thing. We shouldn't be doing that anyway. That's not even a real. That's not. Most High ain't never.
I agree.
That's not.
I
That's not.
agree.
Oh, see, you about to
I
man.
I
I ain't going
agree.
down. Not on this one. I'm not going down there. I'm not going
Oh,
down there.
okay.
But that ain't. Brothers. Look, brothers. Listen.
Uh-oh.
You're out there and you're dealing with women. Only deal with women that you are gonna see them being as wives. Period. The boyfriend girlfriend thing is not a thing. It's not a let it go. That is some play. You trying to build something, trying to build a family, trying to build, a business, build wealth, build a legacy. Girlfriends, they don't help build that. They help have fun. And they're just for right now, right here, right now in the season, right here, right now, right? You want to get a sister that's gonna help you build and that's gonna stick around, it's gonna be with you. That's called a wife, not a girlfriend. Go into it with her, looking at her. If you're dealing with a woman and she can't be a wife, you shouldn't be dealing with it anyway. So that's another day, not today. But anyway, I wasn't prepared for that one. I don't want to go on a rant because it's gonna be a rant. But listen, since we on this specific topic, right, with you know, uh, 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 the relationship between the husband and the wife. All right. Well, what's your view on? Let's say there's no kids at home.
Mm-hmm.
The man is the driver.
Mm-hmm.
She's the wife.
Mm-hmm.
I only want to talk about husband and wives. I don't want to talk about the girlfriend. That's not a thing. That's not a that's because see, there's no rules in that. You make your own rules up in that,
Right.
right? And when you
Yeah,
make your
I
own
agree.
rules up, it just go any type of way, and it's there's no boundaries. That ain't real. It's like, well, we make our
There's no
own
order.
rules, and yeah. It's just look, whatever. That's anyway.
Yeah.
So with you got the husband, you got the wife.
Mm-hmm.
All right. She There's no kids at home.
Mm-hmm.
Should she go to work with him? We're talking OTR, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Should she go to work with him or should she stay home? How should that dynamic look? Should she stay home and dispatch? Should she go to work with him and dispatch? Should she go to work with him and like live in a truck with him and be in a truck with him a week, 2 weeks at a time? Should she stay at home and work on something else, something different? Like, how should that look? Catherine says fur babies all the way. As far as broker, dispatcher care relationship, could you give some strategies on how to build these relationships? Forgot to tap sin. All right, that's an old question. Got you.
Good
We're
good job,
gonna
Catherine. Good job.
how to okay, so the question is, could you give some strategies on how to build these relationships? Yes. Make those calls that you're supposed to make.
To the
Constantly talk to
boys.
them. Pick you always pick some brokers, but actually be able to bring value to the if it's a broker, to the broker,
Mm-hmm.
and constantly call them and ask them, hey, is there any help you need with any loads today? You email them the same thing. If you got their phone number, you text them the same thing, right? As far as dispatcher carrier relationship, you always, if you're the dispatcher, you always ask your carrier, is there anything that you need help with, right? And what's really better than that, you don't really ask, you kind of sit back and you learn the business and you see what's going on, whether you just now talking with them in a day or 2 days or 3 days. And what you do is you look at their business and you see what they need help with, and you tell them, hey, just tell them, hey, I can do that for you. Would you like me to do that? Or I'm going to do that for you. Hey, I noticed that do you have any spreadsheets? Right?
Mhm.
They might say no. And it's like, okay, well, tell them, hey, I got a spreadsheet for you. I can keep track of all your stuff, right? Hey, do you have a TMS system, truck management system, right? They might say no. Hey, I have a truck management system. Go sign up for a free one, right? Get a free one or get one that's pretty cheap or whatever like that, and say, hey, I can keep up with all of your expenses. I can keep up with all of your rate cons. I can keep up with all of your fuel receipts for whatever, right? Like keeping track of stuff. The biggest thing that owner operators struggle with is just keeping all of this stuff in order.
Right.
That's like one of the biggest things that you can leverage, right? And when you present it, right? This real game. This is how we go over stuff in the school community, right?
Right.
Don't present it in, hey, I'm gonna like give you the spreadsheet. Don't tell them that.
Yeah.
That's not how you uncover the value. Hey, listen, I'm gonna make sure you pass your first year's uh safety audit,
Right.
right? Don't tell them how you're gonna do it. You know how you're gonna do it, but you let them know, hey, look, I'm gonna make sure you pass your first audit. I'm gonna make sure that you never fail at your drug safety consortium deal. Hey, if you hiring drivers, I'm gonna make sure everything's in order, and I'm gonna make sure that everything's in file. I'm gonna make sure that all of your maintenance records is in order to where we can crack down on these breakdowns. I'm gonna make sure that I keep track of all your money, and we're gonna find the leak if we have any leaks in your business, right?
Mhm.
Because all they want to do is book loads, run loads, make money. They really don't want to do all of that other stuff. That's really why a lot of owner operators go out of business.
Yeah.
Real talk,
Yeah.
real talk. Like that's really why they go out of business. Not because they don't have money out here, not because they don't know what they're doing. Like they know how to drive a truck and they know how to pull loads. They go out of business because they don't know how to actually run the business, right? And what I tell everybody, what we go over in our community is I really don't like the name dispatcher. I use it because it's familiar to everybody,
Right.
but I like logistics coordinator, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
specialist because I, what we do is, and what I teach is go in and help them run their business,
Right. Right.
not just dispatch trucks.
Yeah.
Like actually go in there and help them run their entire business.
Right.
Help them hire people, learn how to hire people, help them social media marketing, help them like craft a great offer. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. You got something on that,
Yeah,
Tamaris?
no, that was all. Yeah, absolutely is making sure that you help them understand that this is not a hustle, it's a business. And I keep putting emphasis on that because I've seen a lot of people come into this space, especially with this whole era of sprinter vans and box trucks. This is still a business. You're seeking to move a company's commodities, products, whatever the case may be, and they are a legitimate business. That means you need to know which form of corporation you should file. Should it be a LLC? Should it be a S corp? Should it be a C corp? Like, what are your goals for your business? And then you have to manage it with your operational agreements, right? All these contracts and SOPs, like all of them are a necessity to run a successful business. You need to have an accountant and a CPA, not just a tax preparer. It's not the same person. Tax preparer is not going to be able to help you if you get in trouble with IRS. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things are important, and perhaps that's a way of building relationships with not just the carriers but brokers too. Brokers, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of them, the only difference between a carrier and a owner, I'm sorry, a owner operator and a broker, is that they don't have any assets, right? And they're new, just like some of these owner operators. They don't know how to run a business, they just know how to sell. That's
Right.
essentially what a broker is. They're just selling, right? So
Yeah, it sells.
um
It's yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so perhaps create, a one pager that you can share. Like, hey, I'm just going to send this over to you how you can best use um, Google Workspace, for the drives, where you can take a picture of your BOL and upload it to your drive, and then you can just share the drive with your dispatcher or something that's going to make their job easier while they're on the road and keep them organized. Like he
Yeah.
said, the sheets, they can create a sheet and share it with you where you both can work off of it. That way you're inputting information for him and then or her, and they can see it for themselves. Okay, this is how much I can expect to make. You know what I'm saying? A realistic number, just like the sheet that you share with everyone that's in the school that helps them to calculate, their loads and their expenses. Because you do need to know what your cost per mile is, not just be focusing on the rate per mile. What is your cost per mile? Because those are two different things. So things like that you can share with them to show that you're a subject matter expert and you're not just somebody that just go on the load board, select a load, and send them about their way. So
Yeah.
that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, for sure. And you said something I wanted. You said something. What you said. Oh, CPA. So yeah,
Mhm.
go on my channel. I have an interview with a CPA. She's actually
Yep.
about to come back on
Hmm.
within like 2 weeks from now, like the beginning of next month. I just talked to
Hmm.
her yesterday. She's about to come back on.
Hmm.
We're about to do some content together and go over. We're gonna like do a deep dive. I'm looking to get her to because I'm looking to do some workshops over the
Right.
weekend. It'll be
Right.
me, it'll be Tamaris, and then I'm looking to get her to come in as well. Like I said, she's a CPA. She's fire. She saved my behind.
Yep.
She's great. She's great at what she do. Trust me,
Yeah.
she's great at what she do, and she actually loves the trucking niche, right? So
And
that's
Marco, to add to that too, there's a difference in a business CPA and a CPA that specializes in trucking.
correct.
Those are questions that you need to ask. Like when you're bringing on these people onto your team, you need to make sure that they're knowledgeable of the transportation space, because I'm sure there's things that she knew that you could claim or what you can't claim, and certain codes that come out, that a regular business CPA wouldn't know anything about your industry and be able to catch that for you. So that's
Correct.
very important, that depending on what your niche is, that's the type of um certified professional you need to have on your team. Even like with law, there's mortgage law, there's criminal law, and just because they're lawyers don't mean that they're knowledgeable of those different spaces.
Correct. Correct.
So the same thing with the CPA.
Right.
They know how to read the codes, but if that's not their normal practice or they don't specialize in that, that's not a code they're going to be familiar with. So, I'm sure that's why she was able to help you out, because she was familiar with that space. Or maybe
Yeah.
perhaps, she asked the right discovery questions from you where she can go research it and help her become a subject matter expert. So that's very important to know that as well.
Yeah, for sure. She's definitely one. I'm getting her back on. I'm actually clip this part and probably like send it to her. Like, hey, look, they're looking for you. Like, what you doing? So
Yes, they
yeah,
do. They do.
uh, Shamarcus Dickinson Logistics says, I got 3 paid off trucks, one 2022 and two 23s. Should I leverage my titles first additional funding or hang on to them? Okay, so great question.
Yep.
I like these. All right, I'm just gonna tell you what I would do. Right,
Yep.
um, trucks are uh depreciating assets. All
Right.
right. Yes, you want to hurry up and pay trucks off so you don't have that note. But most people, they get confused and think it's like a piece of real estate, and it's not. The more and more you run this truck, the more and more the value of that truck goes down. So
Right.
yes, the only value you really, I'm not going to say the only value, but you're racing against time. The
Right.
more, once again, the more miles you put on this truck, the more that you drive this truck, the more that you beat up on this truck, the more, and the age of this truck, the more value that it goes down, right? So yes, you have this piece of paper that's a title. Uh and you can sell it right now. You can take a loan against it. Yes, but you're racing against time, right? So what I like to do is I like to, instead of going and getting a loan, or you can do this both ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can either one take the truck, lease it back out,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
take the money that you lease it back out and go buy another truck, right? So what you can do is you can do, if you have your own authority, which I'm assuming that you do, you take the truck, you you take the truck, you hire a driver, you put him in the truck as a lease operator, right? If to some it's a 22 and a 23, so if you do some calculations, let's say you get 35 grand for each. You do divide that by 52 weeks at $673 a week. You can lease the truck out for $700. Do the insurance, do your lease fee, 10, 15 to 20%. If you got you some fuel cards, give away the discounts on the fuel cards. Don't keep them. Pass it on to the driver. Charge about 2,500 on the truck for escrow. It's a lease, so pay them put 2 weeks in the hole so they can't run off with the money. And what you do is now the 670 a week that you're getting for that truck that's paid off, you can take that and you can go buy another truck and take that money and pay for the new truck, right? And now instead of you paying for the new truck, the guy that's paying for this truck is actually paying for two trucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can actually lease the new truck out as well. I hope I'm not being like a little confused. I'm going a little fast with that. But basically, if you do take a loan out, don't take a loan out and just take the money. Take the loan out and like put it right back to work, right?
Right.
Um, but if for some reason your business is a little over leveraged, then maybe you shouldn't take a loan out on the vehicles. But the biggest takeaway from what I'm saying is please understand that it's a depreciating
Right.
asset. It's like
Yes.
it's going down and it's going down fast. Do not take what happened in 2020 with the pandemic and all that and trucks
Mm-hmm.
skyrocketed up. That never happens. That's not normal. It's probably never going to happen again. And if it
Right.
does, it's not going to happen while we're probably in trucking or whatever. That's not normal, right? So just understand that equipment trailers are actually worth more than trucks. It's a whole nother
Yeah.
like deep training, but they hold their value longer and they're actually more valuable than an
Yep.
actual truck is. This truck has an engine in it. This engine and the transmission can go out at any time.
Mm-hmm.
They depreciate like a mofo, like real talk. So yes, paying the equipment off and not having that overhead is good, but at the same time, it's only a matter of time before those trucks just go down in value and
Paperweight.
just, yeah. So you got anything on that?
Yeah, no, I agree 100% with everything you were saying, but it's a great investment in our school community because you get that consultation and you can ask a question like
Yeah,
that.
you do. Yeah, you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you join the school community, you get I think it's what it's like, I don't know, 15 minutes, 30 minutes or something like that.
Mhm.
So just jump in, right? And you can schedule a call, jump on with me, whatever, whatever. And then we'll chop it up, we talk about it, right? So
Yep.
yeah, but so I hope that answered your question, right?
Yep.
Um, excuse me, man. I ate right before I got on here. Excuse me. But anyway, um, back to the relationships. So,
Uh-oh. I thought
so
I,
you
I thought I
know,
distracted you.
nah,
Yes, I
nah, nah,
did.
nah, nah. We're not gonna get away from that. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna get on that. So we talking. We just was talking about an offer for the
Hmm.
dispatcher to go. We're using the word dispatcher because it's familiar to everybody, right? But at
Right.
the same time, we're like, hey, look, learn how to run the business.
Yeah.
Go in and run their business. Don't you think that would be a good offer for a wife to do?
I
Is to
totally
run her
agree.
husband business? Like,
I
hey, I'm
totally
gonna
agree.
learn
I
all
think
of
I
this and just run your business for you.
and that's why I was saying earlier that this should be a conversation had before you commit to this lifestyle. because it's a total lifestyle. This is not something that you can just jump in and it's
Before
just
who
gonna be
commit?
a, huh?
Before who commits?
Whomever is going to be the driver, whether it's the wife, whereas the husband, like
Okay.
these are conversations that need to be had because they need to understand the realistic expectations of this experience, which is I'm not going to be able to come home every weekend if you want me to make real money. I'm not going to, there are going to be birthdays and anniversaries and things that I'm going to have to sacrifice because I'm getting this money going and I'm getting this business up and going. But this is how we can maximize and possibly expedite this process. If you're handling one portion of what I need, you need to have a dispatcher and a person that's an administrator that can manage the business portion. If you're managing that and I'm on the road, it's going to kill two birds with one stone. One, you're going to always know where I'm at because you're going to have access to the GPS, ladies. And for those that are insecure, that's a thought. You'll be able to know where you're at. You got access to his GPS. Um, secondly, if you are a person that's good with managing administrative tasks, then why wouldn't you want to support that so that money isn't being um, given to an external party that doesn't have the same investment in what he's trying to do? Not all dispatchers care about the livelihood or the longevity of that owner operator's business. They just trying to get their little 10 to 15%. But if you're invested in the vision and the idea, and the goal that you both have set, then why wouldn't you want to be a part of that? Because that's going to take the stress off of his shoulders, where you not bumping heads because he know you got his back, and vice versa. Because there are wives that are going out there and the husbands at home with the kids. That dynamic be fun anyway. But I personally believe that the wife, if this is a goal, if this is a dream, then why wouldn't you support those efforts? Maybe you can't go on a road, or maybe you don't want to be on a road. Maybe y'all don't get along like that where you can. But if it was me, if it was me, and my husband was like, "Look, babe, this is what we doing for the next 6 months to a year." I'm like, "Cool, get a storage, put everything up, lock it down. We both on this road. Let's get it together. I'm getting my license, you get your license, so we can be as teams, and I can dispatch." You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my thought process. If we're gonna grind, let's grind for real for a whole year, stack our money. Only thing we paying for is the storage. Get rid of the cars. We can get us a little hoopy or something like that. But I'm putting all my
Yeah.
money into this. I'm 100% vested in this whole goal. Like, we're mapping it out, seeing how much money we can make for a year. Bet, let's get it.
Man, I've had women reach out to me. That was I mean, I'm assuming wives. I'm gonna address them as a wife anyway. Like
Hmm.
the girlfriend. I just
Yeah.
yeah, that's a woman shouldn't even she shouldn't a woman should never say that she's a girlfriend. Anyway, that's like low. Don't do that. Don't do that. So I've always addressed them as being the wife or whatever. Anyway, but like recently, a woman reached out to me. She's like, "Yeah, my husband, he got trucks, blah 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 blah, and I want to help him." And I'm like, "Yeah," and I get so excited when I get those kind of messages or whatever, and it's like, yes, like you can learn this, and like now he don't have to go pay no one to do this. Like he doesn't have to pay a dispatch. He doesn't have to go sit up and learn this. He doesn't have to learn spreadsheets. He doesn't have to learn
Yep.
how
Yep.
to create offers. He doesn't have to learn marketing. He doesn't have to learn,
Right.
none of these type of things, and learn and drive the truck and load the truck and go out of town and and it's like, so when I get those calls or get those inboxes, I get women to join the group and they're like, yeah, my husband got a truck or whatever. I get so excited.
Yeah.
I'll be like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's like, and they like, look, we're gonna do this and this and that, and
Yeah.
it's just so great. But it's hard. Sometimes it's hard for because trucking is a very challenging. I'm not gonna make it seem like it's
Mm,
easy because it's not.
mhm.
Trucking is a very, very challenging um business
Yeah.
and industry. You're talking about you can go from being so happy buying your first truck, getting that trailer, waiting those 21 days or whatever it is for the authority to go active, and you on your, you taking pictures, you and your wife or whatever, or you by yourself, and you taking the pictures by the truck, and it's like, yeah, I'm on Instagram, you Insta stunting, Facebook stunting, you cutting up, you ready to go, and you got
Yeah.
that first load, and that engine can go out just like that. And guess what? You did everything right. It's
Yeah.
not your fault. Like it's not your fault. Like it's you did everything right. You got the credit, you got the loan, you checked the truck, you did everything right. Just so
Mhm.
happens it's a mechanical part. It's an engine. It happens. Guess
Yeah.
what? It slung a ride or it blew a head gasket or whatever. And guess what? Now you got to come up with 10 grand or 15 grand out of nowhere. Or if you're under a load, now you got to get it towed or you out of time. Like
Yeah.
it can be catastrophic, right? That's why I tell people that until they really get their money up, I always tell them to lease on. And when
Yeah.
you
Me too. Yep.
lease on to carriers that can give you a rental if something happens to your truck.
Right.
That way, excuse me, you can keep rolling, right? You can keep working.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to be under your own authority, be able already apply for your Ryder and Penske trucks. Already do that. Don't wait till something happens and does that. No, get pre-approved, already get approved. Once you get approved, you're in the system. You don't have nothing to worry about. You're
Right.
approved. And if you're approved, guess what? You could be anywhere in the country. Your truck breaks down, you can go on ahead and get your Ryder truck or Penske truck and you can keep rolling. You can keep making your
Yeah.
money. You can put your truck in the shop. You can, repower your load. You keep going. You can keep making money, right? Because this can happen. It happened. It happened to me. It happened to my friends. It like probably everybody that's my friend that I come up trucking with or I'm trucking with now, it happened to them.
Yeah.
Like if a real trucker is in, watching right now, I'm pretty sure they can drop in the comments like, "Oh yeah, man, that happened to me." You know,
Yeah.
truck just broke down and I was on my last leg or whatever, it put me in the bind. Either if they went out of business or they didn't go out of business, it just put them in a real jam, right? So this
Yeah.
can happen. So that's why I'm always saying, like, hey, lease on. Get
That's that relationship building, like you just were talking about. Like
yeah,
building relationship with individuals that is going to help support your business, and you need to know what that is. That's why I keep putting emphasis on starting with dispatching first so that you can learn everything that you need to run your business. I don't know why this era, especially with these box trucks, I can't tell you how many people call me. The authority has not aged. They don't know anything about dispatch, and all they got is a box truck. And it's like you literally are setting
man, stop
yourself up.
talking about the box truck people, man.
I, I'm
Don't
talking
do
about my
that.
personal experience of
Don't do that. Don't
individuals
talk about the
that
box truck people,
I'm
man.
just saying, like you can't go.
They
That's
tripping
bass
on you.
backwards. Don't go get the equipment first, and you don't know how to get the money. Learn how to get the money first, then you
Don't
can
be
always
don't
go
be
rent
don't
the
be acting
equipment.
like the box truck people ain't real people because they driving the little box trucks.
Don't
Don't
put me
do
like
that.
that. Don't
In
do
the
me like
little
that, Marco.
in the little sprinters.
Don't
Don't do
don't do me
that.
like that. I'm speaking from my personal experience of people that have called and want me to dispatch for, and I'm like, bruh, let go over it. But you know the crazy thing is, I'll tell them, hey, go get my
How much do
dispatching
they
for.
need? How much? Listen, I got a friend of mine. I'm asking for a friend. I am.
You
I'm
ask
for
him.
real. I'm serious too. No, for real. I really am. I'm really asking for a friend. He wants. He's been He has been bugging me and my other brother. We all brothers, like it's three of us. And I mean it's more of us, but us three specifically, we be talking and
Yeah.
um he's always like, bro, I want to get a box truck, like show me how to do this. And he'll ask my other brother too. And we I always say the same thing. I'm like, listen, that ain't my lane, that's not my niche. I know I can do it or whatever, but I like to stick to what I do. I don't
Yeah.
do the box trucks. I don't even know who to call. I just know. So how
Well,
much do they make? Like what's the
they
because they've been saying that they make like 8, 9, 10 grand.
you can, and let me explain how. And
How?
this is why I again tell
I'm
people to learn
confused.
the dispatching, because the dispatching is going to teach you the language. The ones that are making 8 to 10 racks weekly, they're going over the road. They staying out there on the road, and they're negotiating direct contracts. You you may run across some opportunities on the load boards. DAT is really good for them box truck loads, but the ones that's really eating, they're not really staying on the load boards. They're out there hustling and getting direct contracts. And they're
Mhm.
basically just writing their own check for themselves. But this is the thing that blows my mind. Like from a business standpoint, if everybody, and I've always been like this since a kid, right? I've always been like this kid. If everybody was going to the right, I went to the left. Everybody going to the left, I went to the right. So there are other equipments out there other than Sprinter and box trucks. Like you don't hear nobody talking about dump trucks. But yet the
Mhm.
government is dumping all this money into this infrastructure bill.
Been there, done that.
Where you think all the gravel and all the dirt is going?
Look, guess what? I got a call on that, and I'm gonna address Mr. Never Home. We're gonna get to your comment. Let me go in on this right quick because I got a friend of mine.
Yeah.
He probably got like 7 trucks now. I think he's
Hmm.
ramped it up pretty fast. 2 years ago, I think he had 1 or 2. Now he's at like 7.
Hmm.
Um, but guess what? 3 or 4 of them are flatbeds now. He had the dump, the dump trucks, the dump trailers, right?
Hmm.
And I got a call from uh from a partner of mine. He was like, "Look, I'm bidding on this contract. It's down there where you at because he doesn't live down here in Louisiana. He's like, it's down there. Some work coming from South Louisiana. There's some work coming out of like Lake Charles area, right? He like,
Hmm.
would you want to deal with it? I said, yeah, I'll deal with it. Guess what I did? As soon as we got on the phone, I called somebody, my dude up. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
look, I'm about to get this work. You want it?
Hmm.
Straight up. That like he like, man, you're not gonna. I said, no, I'm gonna give you all of the dump work. I'm just gonna take this off the top. You take all the dump work. But when
Hmm.
it comes down to the machines and moving the machines and anything else that goes on the flatbed or a step deck or RGN or whatever, I'm taking all of that.
Right.
Nothing to do with you, but you can have all the dump work
Hmm.
and I'll just get a percentage off of it, right? I'm saying
Right.
that to say this. I'm so serious when I say I stick to what I do. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, whoop, I'm in that, right? Dump
Yeah.
but dump business makes some good money too though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
I was just using that to illustrate how a lot of this hustle and this is hearsay hustle. They don't really
mhm,
understand about the transportation industry. Like there's other forms of money that could be made that's not talked about and that's is not touched. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say the dispatch. If you get the right dispatching course, it will teach you about all different avenues of trucking. You don't have to just slide into what the fad is, because you're gonna be like a lot of these young people are, they jumping out here getting a box truck and you don't know how to get the money. Now you stuck with the note, you stuck with the insurance, you stuck with the parking lot fees because you got to park it. You stuck paying the driver or risking the taking a risk and losing the driver because they're not gonna just sit around until you can find some work for them. So yeah, that was the point I was illustrating. Like, learn this industry before you go dump all your hard earned money, because you should not go belly up if you can't find work in 30 days.
Yeah,
That's
the
just
dump
poor
business
bit.
is different.
That's
And
just
they
poor.
and
That's just poor business planning, and that's what you teach in the school community about, writing a business plan, making it clear, understand who is your idea customer,
mm,
and it's geographical, it's seasonal. Like, understand who you're pursuing before you go get this equipment. Understand what's going to work for where you at. If you want to, like you share with us, the routes that you run, well, that's because that's where you're at. So it would make sense to understand what's in my backyard, who can I connect with, who can I reach out to for work, because essentially you want to be able to come home frequently, and you learn
yeah.
your own route that works for you and your equipment. So that's what
I
I'm
the
saying.
the coming home and going home thing, cool. If that's what you want to do your thing. But we I always say this, and I'm always continue to say this. You open up a business. A business is supposed to be an ATM machine, and as long as that ATM machine is not spitting out enough money to take care to where you can be home like that, you don't need to be home. It's a truck. The truck is meant to go to work. You
Mm,
choose to be a owner operator and work for yourself and drive your own truck. Understand that you work for the company and you're a driver.
right.
So as a driver, get the owner part of out your mind. As a driver, you got to go to work. You have to drive the truck. You got to go make your money.
Yeah.
Period. Um and like you saying about building that network, once again, relationships,
Yeah.
right? Building those relationships. I have a load that was supposed to run on Wednesday, didn't get cleared. Thursday didn't get cleared. Friday didn't get cleared. It's not going to run until Monday, right? I held this truck for this guy all the way until Monday. Now, Yah blessed us, the Most High blessed us, right? And we was able to continue to get loads for this truck throughout the week, right?
Hmm.
All praise to the Most High for that. But at the same time, I was going to hold a truck for him anyway,
Right.
right? Why? Because me and this guy develop a relationship, and guess what he does? He calls me every single time he has a load. He
Yeah.
gives me all of his loads.
Right.
Anything he has, he gives it to me, right?
Right.
And the load that we're on right now, these are three loads. One of the loads, like they're all paying good money, right? But I'm
Right.
gonna look this up because I looked this up the other day when we was on our weekly call in the group.
Yeah.
The law of what was it again?
Was
Uh, was it
the law?
reciprocity? I think is it?
Yeah. Yeah, wasn't it West?
No, 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 not that. Not just not that one. It's the uh, it was compensation. That's what it was. The law of compensation, right? Mm-mm. Uh, so I think this was it. But anyway, the law of compensation, and I'm gonna share my screen right quick, right? Where is it? Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And basically what it says is the law of compensation, right here. And we was going over this in the group. And basically it refers to the principle that one's efforts and contributions directly influence the rewards and benefits they receive. It's often associated with the idea that you reap what you sow, implying a balance between what is given and what is received. The law suggests that by increasing your value and contributions, you can increase your compensation, right? So building a great relationship with a broker or a driver or a dispatcher is value to you and like directly back to you, right? So if you are, giving value to a broker and you helping this broker out, guess what's going to happen? He or she is going to give value right back. Or maybe you don't get it directly back with that specific broker. Maybe you would get it with another broker, right? Or whatever. But you always keep in mind that if you create a good relationship, especially in business with the person on the other side that you're doing business with, it's gonna come back. It's sowing and reaping, right? It's the
Yeah.
law of sowing and reaping. You reap what you sow. And
Yeah.
but the thing about it is when you sow, you can't be really looking for a um return right then and there, right?
Yeah.
Because it don't go that way. When you sow seeds into the ground, if you sow cucumber seeds, watermelon seeds, or whatever, like we're in like this watermelon season, right? The watermelons everywhere. They got them everywhere. Everybody's selling watermelons, right? I live in the
Right.
South, right? I don't know about where everybody else live, but in the South right now, watermelons are everywhere. You just drive up the street and they're selling them everywhere, right? Well, guess what? They didn't sow the seed for the watermelon yesterday.
Right.
They
Right.
sowed those seeds a while back at the beginning of the season or whatever, whatever. And now they have a harvest of watermelon. So guess what? How does that work with us in the business that we're at, with the relationships that we're creating, that we have today? Well, in the past, right now, start creating some good relationships right now. So in the future,
Right.
you will start reaping what you sowed in the past. You will start reaping a harvest. You start getting fruits, right? If you're on operator, start quoting lanes for
Yeah.
brokers
Yeah.
today, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to always make money off of them today. They're gonna remember, right? They might be just starting out like you,
Yeah.
right? And they need your help to help them quote the lanes. They
Yeah.
don't know what they're doing. You do, because you're a trucker and you do
Right.
this every day. They might be a young kid or maybe not. They just don't know. Or maybe they do know and they just need your help, right?
Yeah.
So quote the lanes for them, right? Like actually quote the lanes for them. Say, hey man, I quote the lanes for you, no big deal, whatever, whatever. And then maybe shoot them a text or email every couple of days or once a week or whatever. Hey man, just checking in with you, seeing if you was awarded the loads, blah blah blah. If you and if not, good luck. Um if you need anything, just reach out to me, let me know. I'm one call away, blah 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 blah. Talk to you soon. Hope you're doing great. Whatever, right? Just shoot him an email, shoot him a message, right? Check in with him once a week, right? That's the easiest way to, if you're sending out, you know, uh, I would say 100 to 200 emails to 200 people, or two like 100 different people a week to shippers in your, if you're trying to get these local runs or whatever, send out
Mhm.
these emails. And when you send out these emails and you constantly send them out, you constantly send them out, you constantly send them out, guess what? Eventually, they're gonna call whatever trucking when they get these
Yeah.
loads and they think about it. Hey man, just wondering if you can handle these loads for us. We got these loads in. Bam, now you got your direct client, right? If you're a
Right.
dispatcher, right? You're constantly reaching out to carriers to let them know, hey, look, just reaching out to you, seeing if you need any help with anything, blah, 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 blah. I was researching this stuff and I found out some new ways that you might can get you some direct clients.
Mhm.
If you're interested, book a call with me. If you're interested,
Right.
you know, just let me know. I can shoot you a quick video of how I can um get you a couple more direct clients over the next 30 days. Go on your computer, create a quick Loom video of what you would do, talk to the mic, to the camera, whatever, whatever, shoot them the video. Because they might say,
Right.
yeah, I'm interested, right? Bam, you giving value. But you still haven't made no money yet,
Right.
right? You're just planting seed. You're just planting seed, right? You
Yeah.
know, if you're a wife, let's bring it on back there. If you're a wife and your husband has a trucking business, help him run the business. Help him
Mhm.
run the business, right? Like help him run the business, man.
Yeah.
Help him run the business so he can, do great in the business. I'm pretty sure he's gonna take the money and like take care home anyway. So like help him run the business. Like the moral story is this: uh, plant good seeds, right?
Mhm.
Plant good seeds. Once again, let's read this again. The law of compensation refers to the principle that one's efforts and contributions directly influence the rewards and benefits they receive. It's often associated with the idea that you reap what you sow, implying a balance between what is given and what is received. This law suggests that by increasing, going up on the value and contributions, you increase your compensation.
Mhm.
So basically, if that's the case, increase the value that you're giving out, right?
Mhm.
If you're a driver and you have a dispatcher and you want a good dispatcher, treat your dispatcher good. Hey, dispatcher, whatever the name is. Hey T, hey T, you got some loads that you need covered over the weekend. I'll help you out on the weekend or whatever. Hey, look,
Mhm.
I'm in the area, whatever. You ever got some loads that another driver fell off from? I'll help you out, whatever. I'm not really tripping or whatever like that. Hey, is there
Yeah.
any, just whatever, right? If you're a dispatcher, you got that, you're trying to make a good relationship with your own operator or your driver, whatever, is like, hey, look, I'm here for you. If you break down, just let me know or whatever, whatever. Right. People, drivers leave stuff at home and it's like, hey, you need me to coordinate a delivery spot for you to like you left your driver's license at home, you're on the road, instead of you going all the way back home, maybe we can schedule a uh maybe your wife or your husband or whoever can like ship it out and I can find you an actual drop spot
Yeah.
to a UPS that you can actually pull up to in the truck or across the street. I'm gonna look on the map and I'm gonna see if it's like a Walmart nearby or whatever. You can jump in the Uber and then go over there and pick, stuff like that. Like just stuff like that, right? And
Yeah.
these things, you give this value in these relationships, and I promise you will like money will come.
Yeah.
You will make money. I have a relationship with a guy right now. We don't I don't even have to ask. Like it's like whatever. We both really don't really ask each other. We just got this business relationship. Um and he barely speaks English. Like he don't look like me. He barely speaks English. He's not where I'm from. He lives nowhere around me. We met once in person. Um and we developed a business relationship that's pretty good. I just always provide value for him. He provides value for me. It's like, look, let's do this, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I wanted to like really go in on that because I see so many drivers, they're entitled. They don't understand if they want to go far in this game, they got to provide value and they really need to get out their own way. I see dispatchers that, they think they all that and they're not. Like you're not all that. Please stop it. You're not all that. Brokers, they tripping, they running their mouth, they talking crazy, and it's like, dude, you're like one mess up away from losing your biggest client or whatever, and then like you're gonna humble yourself. You know what I mean? So, but you tap in on that. I just went off on a
I
little
think
rant just now.
I think the foundation of any relationship, whether it's personal, professional, excuse me, spiritual, is understanding that what you're looking for needs to be inside of you first. So if you're looking for someone to be honorable and respectful and to be empathetic to what's going on in your world, you need to first have it. And I tell people I can go anywhere and I can make friends with anyone, because I'm in love with me. So I'm going to treat you with the most high. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to treat you with honor and respect until you make the decision that I no longer need to do that. Then that's a different version that you get from me, right? But
Hmm.
when you call these brokers, it's not rocket science, people talking to brokers. It's not rocket science as a dispatcher talking to owner operators. Be real, be honest. Don't present yourself like you're something that you're not. If you're new, say that. That's what I teach my students. When you're calling them, be authentic. That first of all, they're gonna tell you if you call a Marco,
Hmm.
if you call a Marco's been in this game as long as he's gonna tell in the first 60 seconds if you're seasoned or not.
Look, listen, I love sales, right? Check it out. They be in Walmart. You know how they be in Walmart and they trying to sell you like the internet and phone services and all that?
Yeah.
You know how they do that?
Hmm.
I don't know if they I'm pretty sure they do that where you at, right? No
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
okay. So like I go in Walmart because I just like to mess with salespeople, right? And they be like, man, who you got internet with? So I know they trying to sell me something. I'm like, I'm good, man. I'm good. I give them a hard time because it's like I want them to sell to me.
Mhm.
So they go back and forth. I'm like, listen, man, sell me the thing. Like sell it to me. Like actually sell it to me. Like, what are you doing? Like you're not selling
Yeah.
it to me. I'm saying
Right.
that to say this, man. When sometimes I'll get like I got an inbox on Facebook today or yesterday, and it was from a dispatcher or whatever, and I was like, oh yeah, hey, how you doing? And I'm talking back and forth with him, right? And at the end, I was like, man, you should join my school group, man. I can help you out. And he was like, look what he said, sir. I'm a what he said, I'm a expert. What he said? Maybe I need to go to it. I'm an expert. I've been doing this 3 years. I'm an expert and I don't need any help. And I was like, whoa. You would never hear me say I won't need help. Yeah, if you got
that
something
you're
for me and I
It's
can learn, give it here.
virtually impossible to stay in this industry and think that you know all that you need to know in this industry. It's virtually I have taught several people. I have spoken about dispatching, and what did I
Uh-huh.
do? I invested to come learn from you.
Yeah,
I don't. It's no way possible. A closed-minded person will never grow. You
yeah,
always have the teacher always has to be a student. So and you have to be humble. Understand that as long as I've been doing this, there's somebody's been doing it longer, and you probably know something that's going to help me get to my destination a
yeah.
lot faster. So for him or her to have said that, you know, your
That's
struggle is going to
crazy.
be it's going to be a little stronger. Not knowing who they were talking about, I'm didn't
Yeah,
even
they
take the time
tripping.
to go Google who you were. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I just look on
That's
the
like
page. I mean, that's all they
inboxing
gotta do is
Myron
look on the
Golden.
page. Yeah.
That's like inboxing Myron and like, oh, I don't need nobody telling me about money. What?
Yeah, that's crazy. See, Mr. Never
Yeah.
Home says, "Man, I be hiding from the salespeople. They mad aggressive in New Orleans. One pulled my shirt to sell. Yeah, they be tripping, man. They listen. I was in Walmart, and look, I was the other day. Um, I went to Walmart to buy my daughter. She wanted these little sandals or whatever. So we're in there, and I'm like, but I'm on the phone. I think I was on the phone with my mom, and I like got her, and I'm like, and they two of them. It was two of them, and they trying to sell me this internet, and I'm like trying to with the thing. I got my baby right here, and I'm like on the phone. I got the AirPod, so I'm
Yeah.
pointing. I'm like, I'm on the phone, bro. And they like, well, what's this? And I'm like, I said, man, I took the AirPod out. I said, bro, I just told you I'm on the phone. Like you didn't hear me. I just told you I'm on the phone, man. Like, come on, be respectful. They left and came back with a third person.
Oh,
I
they was
looked
you
at
gonna get
them.
that sale.
Look, I just looked at them like, man, listen, don't come talking to me. And I'm usually cool with talking to salespeople, like it's all good, right? But
Oh man.
man,
Oh, they
they
was gonna
they
get that sale. You look like you had some money on you. They was gonna get that sale.
yeah, it's but yeah, man, I just want everybody to, I hope that takeaway, they get a takeaway from that, to like really provide, that value, you know, leaving away from this stream tonight. Really think about what relationships you're creating, what value that you're giving in a relationship. Don't really focus so much on I'm gonna say it would be good. I don't want to tell nobody what to do. Do whatever you
Yeah.
want to do, whatever works
Right.
for you. But um um what helped me a lot is I focused more on the value of what I give the
Right.
next person in a
Right.
relationship, more than focusing on what they give me, right? Because you can't make somebody else do something, right? You
Yeah.
can only like control yourself, you can't control other people. But I know that as long as I plant seeds, because it's a law, right?
Yeah.
And it's Yah's law. And when I say Yah, I'm talking about God. So it's God's law. So, and God's law don't change. It
Nope.
it works. It's it's a fact, right? It's going
Yeah.
to happen, right? It don't matter who does it. If you take a robot and you take the robot and the robot plants the seed in the ground, as long as everything works, does the way they're supposed to do, it's going to reap a harvest. No matter if you take a kid and do it, you do it, a female, a male, or whatever. Principles works, laws work.
Yep.
So the law of sowing and reaping, it works. You sow good seed, you will reap a harvest. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So what you
Yeah.
got? What you got? What you got? We're gonna close this thing out. We're gonna get on to the end
Yeah.
of it.
I just to piggyback off of what you just said is in reference to building successful, meaningful relationships, I have to go back to the business plan. Understand what is your goal, and if your only reasoning for doing this is for what you think you can make, you already failed. It has to be a give and exchange in business. There's always a give and exchange in business, and like I referenced earlier, a relationship, whether it's intimate or whether it's professional, it you should be looked at as a business. What am I getting from this relationship, and what am I giving? If you're always taking, then you're going to always not feel fulfilled. Like, that's the creator made us to be servers. And for those that don't believe, and whatever the case may be, you're serving somebody. You just not aware of the person that you're serving. That 9 to 5, you serving that boss. Them kids, you serving
Yeah.
them kids. You're serving somebody in your day to day. So just be conscious, be aware. And that's what I appreciate in the school community, that you put emphasis on the business side, because anyone could drive a truck. You literally can get your license in less than 30 days, right? So it's not as challenging, but not everyone can run a business. There's certain principles, as you just stated, there are certain principles that you have to implement in order to reap from that harvest. So you need to invest in a mentor or a training, um, and not just the glitz and glam of a great marketing and sales team. You need to really understand what you're committing to and be honest with yourself. Or do you see yourself doing this within the next 5 years? If not, perhaps not dump all that money into something that you don't see a future in, just because you heard you can make $10,000 without a CDL. You can, but ask them how long did they invest into that before they were making that type of money weekly. So, um, with any relationship, look at it as a business, whether it's professional or intimate. What are you giving, and what are you getting, and is it meeting your end game? Like, where are you trying to go? If it's just for things and clout and be able to do Instagram, then okay, but then don't come back and taint our industry talking about ain't no money in it. It's money in it for us. We getting
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah,
and we
yeah,
teaching
yeah.
it. It's money for us, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
that's that's
So
that's what I want to the note I want to leave on is just invest in the baby steps first. Quit trying to take these detours, because it's leading you to a dead end.
yeah. And remember, Trump is in office, man. So guess what? Let's make trucking great again. With
Okay.
that, I'm gonna leave y'all, man. The link is in the description. Hit the link
Yes.
in the description, man. Come on, come over to the school group. Come learn
Yes.
learn how to run a trucking company, learn how to run a dispatch company, learn how to, make some real money. Price is going up very, very soon. We'll be at $100 a month very soon. So make sure you get it and get it fast. All right. So we're gonna holler at y'all. Peace, peace. Today is
Peace.
Friday evening, so it'll be the start of the Shabbat. So Shabbat Shalom. All right. Shabbat Shalom. Peace, peace, y'all. All right. See y'all later.